I'm going to show you how to increase the number of stitches you have using the technique YO, or it is also referred to as YF. YO means yarn over and YF means yarn forward. But as I'm showing you the stitch in a piece of garter stitch knitting, they both mean the same thing. So there are loads of different ways to increase stitches in knitting, and if you use yarn over, you end up with a hole in your knitting. This can be used to create a lacy effect, or it's an easy way to make a buttonhole. I've made a few in the middle of this swatch of garter stitch, and you can see what it looks like. So this is garter stitch, or knit, 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 until you get to the instruction YO. So you might have already knitted a few stitches on this row. Then simply bring the wool to the front of your work in between your two needles. Then insert your right needle into the front leg of the next stitch as you normally would when knitting. But as your wool is now at the front of your work, you have to take it over your right needle in order to wrap it around your right needle and knit with it normally. So you've basically wrapped the wool under and around your right needle to form an extra stitch. And every time you make the yarn over stitch, you increase the number of stitches you have by 1. Here it is again. When you get to the instruction yarn over, bring your wool to the front of your knitting in between your two needles. Then knit as normally, inserting your right needle into the next stitch. The only difference is that you have to bring your wool over your right needle in order to wrap it around your next stitch. So yarn to the front between your two needles, then knit as normal by taking your wool over your right needle to knit with. When you knit your next row, you'll notice that the stitch created by the yarn over is looser than the rest. That's normal, and just treat it like you would a normal stitch. And something else to watch out for on that next row. Sometimes the stitch created by yarn over can be a little bit twisted. So just make sure all the stitches are straight on your needle before you knit them. And that's all there is in yarn over and garter stitch.